Alright guys, I just wanted to show you something. I've been learning the Horizon Worlds editor and I've learned a few things. Haven't figured it all out yet, but wanted to show you some of the things you can do and how they work. Right now we're in preview mode, so this is how the world, this particular world looks when people visit it. It is a theater stadium type thing. So I'll show you the editor mode. If you're in editor, you start in preview mode, you flick back to go into edit mode, and it looks different here. You see scripting, you see dynamic lights. You'll see sometimes if I haven't closed them, you'll see how the scripts connect to triggers and objects. So we can zoom out from the outside, and I'll show you a little bit how this works. It's not designed to be seen from the outside. The players can't see out here, so it's all function. And basically what runs it is, this is a long physical trigger, an object that some of the triggers are scripted to react to this object. So when the world starts, or when a performer initiates the stage, this animates at a slow speed across the world, and when it hits different musical tracks, they start up, and all of these triggers down here feed up into lighting systems on the stage. So you can adjust the teeth of this object depending on the song you're using to adjust what lighting effects happen when and for how long, depending on how they're spaced and how large you make the object triggers, which is one group. It plays out, and then it hits a trigger to spawn the player, which animates that to drop, and then that final trigger back there resets the world to its original state. So it's kind of interesting here as I was playing with making something that's not super large appear larger to the player, and it's a forced perspective optical illusion. Is obviously these stages are scaled down smaller as they go back, and the background stadium lighting is disproportionately small. So I'll show you what that looks like from the ground. Go on global audio from here, but for the player, since they can't see from that perspective, it can create the illusion that it's a much larger stadium than it really is. It's not that large. So one way to make something look bigger than it is, as long as you don't give player access to physically go in those areas, it can create the illusion of larger scale without actually doing that large a scale. Let's see. Well, let me go ahead and I'm going to demo how this actually works for the player. So we're going to go ahead and spawn ourselves at the entrance in our elevator shafts. And the sign basically allows the player to know that the entrance to the auditorium doesn't open until a performer enters beneath the stage. So the way that works is the audience would wait here, the performer would go down here, and I still have to build it, but this would be a dressing area. Oops, let's go back. Sorry about that. I like to flick back on that joystick. Yeah, that they could change outfits, grab props, whatever. And then to get on stage, there's triggers here, and the performer or group of performers stops. Hopefully it reads it, because they have to choose between going down this hallway, which will run the stadium without background music, or down this one will play a background music track. I just have, it's 3 tracks combined into one, but that's all I have. So what happens is the musical blocks you saw earlier, when you go down this trigger has a second trigger which animates those blocks to move up and out of the path of that moving trigger, is how that works. So we'll go ahead and do it with background music, and as we run back, you'll see that doors close to seal off the triggers from being re-triggered, or allowing other players to join the performer once they pass into the area. It takes about 1 minute for the auditorium to load the script or the animation to start. I didn't set it that way, it's just what it is, and I decided to use it as an opportunity for performers to wait for the stage to drop and maybe coordinate the show a little bit right before. As soon as you pass the sign and wait here, your audio goes global, so an artist or singer or dancer may want to start playing the music ahead of entering, if they do it without background music and are just pumping their own audio through the headset. Okay, so now the stage loads. Jump on, and then lift this up. So all those triggers, as they're moving, are creating patterns for these, the lasers, and some large white dynamic lights. There we go. They light up the backdrop. So if you look at this from the outside, you can actually see what's happening is this object's moving through the triggers, and depending on how they're spaced, is going to tell them how to play. So I can duplicate the world, drop other musical tracks in, and adjust this to a slower tempo song, faster tempo song, whatever. We'll go back in here. The song will play for about 2 or 3 minutes, can't remember exactly, and there'll be a foghorn that plays, which lets artists know we've got about 15 seconds left to perform, wrap it up, and then they'll spawn back up there in the lobby. So I'm not much of a singer, so we're just going to wait a couple minutes. Take a look what it looks like from audience perspective. I'm pretty happy with it. Some people don't like the pyramid, which is fine. The idea is that if an artist wanted to do a performance here, I can swap out the artwork, hopefully do some stage customization for a particular performance would be the idea. So it's kind of a blank slate. You can really do whatever you want with it, just hopefully like a regular stage setup. A little more limited than that, but enough to give the impression. Alright, the foghorn gives us another 15 seconds or so to dance around. Alright, then we load it in, and the song will play for another 10 or 15 seconds. Got restrooms if you need to use a restroom, of course. Alright, and then it just kind of resets. That door closes back up, and audience members can either stay in the VIP booth and watch another performer, or if they want to perform or go do something else, they can jump down here. This is high enough that you can't jump back up though, so once you jump out, you're going to have to wait for the next performer to open up the glass doors. One other area I'll show you, it's just a little Easter egg, is just so players can actually see what's going on if they want to. Now you can't see the triggers and stuff, and I've thought about maybe actually putting them physically in just as a representation, but you can watch this thing move along. I may find a way to give them access to run around on it. I don't know. Some people might find that fun. But that's really it, guys. I mean, I just wanted to show you some stuff I've learned. I'm not that advanced at the scripting. I'm doing it in the editor, so I'm sure there's ways I could do this differently, probably do it smarter, but it works. I'm pretty happy with it just as a proof of concept, and I think it'll be fun for some people. That's all I got. Talk to you later. Thanks.